Hello, my name is HAPruitt and I'm the author of Anelthalien. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a book review, not of Anelthalien, of another book. Before I do the review, I want to tell you that book reviews are so important. If you're a reader, you're probably going to look at book reviews to know if you want to read a book. If you're an author, book reviews tell other readers why people enjoy your book and they help you understand more about your writing. So please do book reviews if you're a reader and try to get reviews if you're an author. So today the book I'm going to review is The Dark Magi by Joanna White. The Dark Magi is book 1 in the Republic Chronicles by Joanna White. Joanna White is a prolific author who writes in many genres, fiction stories in many genres. The Dark Magi takes place in another world called Castre. I think that's how you say it. It's in a city in Castre where an evil king has taken the throne and he is trying to push back any chance of a rebellion against him. That evil king is Vaxon. Vaxon is Kyren's father. Vaxon wants Kyren dead. Yeah. However, Vaxon recognizes that Kyren, his son, is a very strong, very powerful magi, and he's a very dark magi. And so he gives Kyren a choice. He tells Kyren, fight against all the other magi who've rebelled against me and kill them all, or I kill your family. And Kyren has such a strong attachment and love for his family, he doesn't hesitate to think about if he's going to kill all the magi or if he's going to protect his family. He chooses to protect his family. And so the story ensues where Kyren is now pitted against all these other magi, and all through the story you're wondering, is he going to make it out alive? Is he really going to kill these guys? The story is really internal. A lot of it takes place in Kyren's head, his memories, his thoughts. It's not, like that just sounds like, oh man, there's a lot of killing and a lot of bad stuff, but it's not about the killing, it's not about glorifying the killing, it's about this struggle between what's right and what should I do, and it shows how the decisions are very difficult between what's right and what's good, and how our past affects the decisions we make in the future. It's very internal and very good at showing the thought processes of the character, the main character. It's from his perspective. He is also struggling against the darkness inside him. He's a dark magi. And so he has these dark powers. There's different magi in the book. You've got a dragon magi and he's the dark magi. There's light magi. There's different magi, but he's a dark magi. So he uses darkness to fight against all these other magi. And he struggles against this darkness in him that's threatening to take over him throughout the book. And he doesn't want to be evil, he doesn't want to be bad, but he doesn't see any other way. And I really like that aspect of the story because it shows how any of us can be these people with darkness in us and sin in us. And we struggle against it, we fight against it, but sometimes we see that it just feels like there's no other way. And in the story, there's a very strong theme of redemption and how Kyren wants to be good and he's heard about the Father and the Father's light. And he wishes for that, but he just doesn't see any redeemable part in himself. And throughout the book, I don't want to give anything away, but throughout the book you see that theme of redemption, how he wants it, but doesn't see any way for it. And the book teaches that redemption is possible with the Father. And in our lives, in real people's lives, redemption is possible with God the Father, who no matter how terrible of sins we have done, and we all have sinned, and we've all done terrible things. And even if you think you're the worst of sinners, God still wants you, and he wants to redeem you. He wants to bring you back and fill you with his light instead of the darkness trying to consume you. So I really, really like that about that book, how it's, how it really shows that truth about God, how God, let me see, I wrote down the quote that Joanna wrote that I really liked. God is the hero of every story because he saves us through Jesus Christ, and redemption is possible for everyone. So those are the themes I really like in the book. It's a very action-packed book. if you're a guy, you'd probably really like this book. I was telling my husband about it, and I told him, yeah, if it was a movie, you'd probably just like really, really enjoy it. He's not a book person, he's more a movie person. I said, if it was a movie, we would watch it together, and it'd be full of action, and you'd enjoy it. Guys would really like this book. I'm a girl, I like this book too. It's full of action, full of fight scenes, full of cool stuff. Joanna White did a really good job of describing the fight scene so you could like see it happen. Like one time he like took out a guy with his elbow and with his leg at the same time, and I was like, boom, doing it myself, you know, because I'm cool. And you could just see it happening. And so that was really good, a really good aspect of the book. She described the action very well. It's high stakes, fast paced, emotion provoking. I quickly felt invested in Kyren, the main character, because just of how it was really internal, and so you saw so much of him and you felt empathy for him. Even though he's this guy who's like supposed to kill all these people, you're like rooting for him. And so that's a really great aspect of the book. He could be a villain, but you root for him. You want him to come out of it and get away from that darkness. So the one negative thing about the book was that I wish the scenery was described. It seemed like most of the time the scenery wasn't described very much or at all. And so like Castre in my mind is this gray, misty, dark world. And maybe it was, maybe I read that, but it seemed like the characters and the world weren't described very much. And so I kind of just substituted other characters for the characters in my mind. And whenever later in the book they were described a little bit, I'm like, that's not what they look like. No. So I wish that the characters had been described a little, and the scenery had been described earlier in the book, so I could envision them better, instead of kind of just making it up and then being wrong and making it up still anyway. So overall, it was a really, really good book. It was a shorter book, so I read it quicker, and you know, a lot of people like shorter books. It was a really good book. Lots of emotion, fast-paced, action, character you can relate to, and it taught you something that you can take it to your own life, and I really like that. Joanna, I follow her on social media, and so it seems like she doesn't just write a bunch of fictional stories and a bunch of genres. She writes all these different stories in all these different genres, and they do point back to God and do teach you lessons about God, so I really like that. If action and kind of the killing stuff isn't your thing, it didn't have, like, I'm not a big, like, killing bloody person, and it didn't repel me, so if that's not your thing, she writes tons of genres. She's got, like, The Heart of Christmas out with cute little Christmas stories, and she has videos explaining all these different genres, so check her out, check her website out, check her Instagram out where she tells about that. Check out her YouTube. I'll put the names of those different social media links up in the next little slides. So here's her stuff. If you want to find the Dark Magi or any other of Joanna White's books, you can look on Amazon to find them, or you can look on her website, which is what I have open here. You can find her other books kind of down at the bottom. And this page that I have open on her website, author JoannaWhite.com, it's the Dark Magi series page, and it has the trailer, which is cool, and it has the audiobook narration, not the whole thing, just an example of how cool it sounds, and just the description of it and everything. So there's the cover, and her website again is authorJoannaWhite.com, where you can find information about the Dark Magi and all of her other books, her products, her blog. Just check the website out. There's so much cool to find on there. Joanna White also has a really cool YouTube channel where she posts tons of videos. Some videos are tips about writing. A lot of videos are her reading, showing her different achievements. She's got all kinds of different things on there, and I really enjoy her YouTube videos. So check out her channel, subscribe, and enjoy learning about writing. So that is what you need to know about following Joanna and finding her book, The Dark Magi, and all her other books. If you read The Dark Magi, if you read Anelthalien, please review these books. If you read any book, please review these books. It's so important. So thank you for watching. Bye!
If you want to know more about Anelthalien or HAPruitt, please follow me on Instagram at HAPruitt. You can find me on Amazon as an Amazon author, HAPruitt. Please watch my YouTube channel and all my cool videos on my channel, HAPruitt Anelthalien. You can find me on the Facebook page, HAPruitt Anelthalien. You can follow me on Goodreads by the name HAPruitt and the book Anelthalien, or you can go to my website where so much cool stuff about Anelthalien is. The website is HAPruitt.com. Stabilize the phone.
Fluff my hood. Fluff my evil little hood. Okay, my hood has been fluffed.